ABC2 News at 11.
Sometimes I wonder why I had to, go through it, and it is something that daily I still process.
For more than a year, we only knew her by her mugshot as one of the 6 officers charged in the death of Freddie Gray.
Tonight, Sergeant Alicia White steps out from behind the blue line to talk about the 2 weeks that became a tipping point for her and for the city she so passionately wants to serve.
And she's telling her story to ABC2 News investigative reporter Brian Kubler.
Sergeant Alicia White's contact with Freddie Gray that April morning was limited to the last 2 stops of that wagon ride. She was charged with manslaughter, assault, reckless endangerment, and misconduct. Those charges have since been dropped, but they still loom over her life and career. Sergeant Alicia White has been back in uniform for just more than 3 months now. It's an administrative role these days, waiting for an internal review to clear her from a charge delivered 18 months ago.
To the youth of this city.
With the reverence and optics that stirred a nation.
This is a moment. This is your moment.
And upended careers. When the state's attorney was reading the charges on the steps of the War Memorial on national television.
Sergeant Alicia White.
And when she got to your name and read the charges that were against you, what was your reaction?
I felt blindsided. I didn't see that coming at all. I was devastated. I broke down and started crying. It was hard. It was a hard pill to swallow.
In her first televised interview, Alicia White is breaking her silence to tell her story. The first of the 6 officers accused in the death of Freddie Gray to go on the record. While the charges in the Freddie Gray case have been dropped, an internal probe still prevents her from telling us what she saw at Stop 5 on April 12, 2015, or what she did to help Gray at Stop 6. A man she says she didn't know, working just her 3rd month as a newly minted sergeant in the Western District.
Praise God, praise God.
But a family she says she prayed for as she watched them struggle with loss and a city devolve into ruins.
We gonna fight for Freddie
here, and there's a couple hundred people here.
That loss, the loss of his life, the loss of seeing property destroyed, that hurt. To have to watch that or to see it unravel.
And to be so closely connected to it?
Right, exactly. Because, like I said, it's not like I'm from somewhere else and came to Baltimore. This is home.
Alicia White was born and raised in Northwest Baltimore, but worships here on North Carey Street in the Western District. Mere blocks from where Freddie Gray was arrested and where his legacy still looms. On murals, on vacants, and on her face in this mugshot, the picture that through the last year and a half has come to define her public image.
I knew, even seeing it myself, that wasn't who I was. And having to walk and people look at you and figure that's who you are, I knew that wasn't me.
What do you want this community to know?
That I'm not that officer that was seen on TV, even in walking the streets, while I was in this area. I think if you were to ask people that knew me, they would say that wasn't that officer.
The last 18 months took its toll on White physically and emotionally. Charged with a felony, she wasn't getting paid for more than a year, and the stress derailed a career and life she felt she was just starting. How did this affect your personal life?
It was a lot, what the responsibilities that I may have had, I no longer could do those things. So I had to depend on my family a lot for financial support. I was currently engaged, and my engagement is now over. So that was hard. So it was an emotionally hard thing for me this year.
Still, Alicia White leans on her faith and her desire to serve. Absolved from any criminality in Gray's death, she's now eagerly waiting for the green light from the police department to serve again.
That doesn't deter me from what I signed up for in 2010. It's about protection, service, and being able to give back to that. Like I said, I'm from Baltimore, so this is home for me. So to be able to continue to help serve the community in which I grew up in, that's important to me.
White says it is her job, it is her calling. Going back to being a cop was always what she hoped was on the other side of this tumultuous process. Steadfast in her innocence, hoping for the chance to clear her name from a charge so publicly leveled by the Baltimore State's attorney.
Everyone at the end of the day has a job to do. And at that particular day,
Good morning.
when she stood on the war memorial, she had a job to do. Those decisions that she came up with is something that she has to, live with.
Alicia White is confident that if she had her day in court, she would have been found not guilty. So confident, in fact, she was prepared to choose a jury trial. Tomorrow night on ABC2, you will see parts of the case her attorneys plan to argue. We also asked White if she would have done anything different on that April morning. You must have thought in the past year and a half, through that morning, through that day, through this process over and over and over again, right?
Yes.
Is there anything that you would have done differently? Tomorrow night, hear White's answer to that question and never before seen evidence in her case.
Still very emotional for her, you can tell.
Absolutely. All right, Brian, great work.
Thanks a lot. Now, stay with us because we take you back to the beginning when Freddie Gray was arrested. All of that information is on our website at abc2news.com. See how the charges and the trial unfolded. Watch unaired clips from Brian's interview with Alicia White, where she talks about how it feels to be back in uniform. You'll find that all right on our homepage at abc2news.com.
And then coming up in just about 10 minutes from right now, join Brian and me on Facebook. We're going to be live talking about what you just saw, Alicia White's interview, and does she still talk to the other officers involved, and did this take a toll on her family? We are live in 10 minutes. You can chime in with your comments too. It's on the WMAR TV Facebook page. The mother